Returning now to one of our top stories, Penny Wong will travel to Beijing today to meet with her Chinese counterpart. So what does this mean for relations between the two countries? Joining me live is Director of the International and Security Affairs Program at the Australia Institute and former advisor to Penny Wong, Allan Behm. Allan, thank you so much for joining us. How significant is this visit by Penny Wong?
Oh, good morning, Danica. It is a very significant visit, coming as it does at the end of this year, which is the 50th year since Australia and China actually signed mutual recognition, and of course coming after a series of very, very important meetings between Prime Minister Albanese and President Xi, and of course between Senator Wong and her counterpart, Mr. Wang, the Chinese Foreign Minister. So this has been a gradual build-up, which is now coming to a head when we can get back into business.
So can we expect then any major outcomes from the meeting?
Well, I think we will have some major outcomes, but they won't be tomorrow. I think that we will see a mutual accommodation. That's what happens with diplomacy. And over the next couple of months, we'll have a restoration of trading patterns similar to the ones that we had 4 or 5 years ago. I think we will have some movement on Australians detained in China. That also will be careful and gradual. Because it will be part of an overall recalibration of the relationship, not going back to where we were, but going forward to where we might be. And so I think this particular visit by the Foreign Minister is just a critical development in bringing us back to normality.
So what will be, I guess, the trigger, or what will it take for relations to be classified as normal again, if that's even possible with China?
Very good question, Danica. It's a new normal. I mean, we're not going back to where we were. I mean, we've had COVID coming in between, haven't we? 3 years of it. And so what we'll be doing is to re-establish the relationship, but on a series of new premises, much more, I think, business-like, much more professional, much more nuanced, much less use of the bullhorn and the megaphone. I just think that we're going to be moving forward into a relationship which is balanced, discreet, calm. We'll give up wolf warriors, we'll give up wolverines, and we'll get back to having it managed by adults.
So is this what it's going to take then, this face-to-face style of meeting to be able to negotiate here?
Yes, I think face-to-face meetings will be very important. We've got to understand that China has got an entirely different governmental system from ours. And so the indicators and signals that are given from the top of the Chinese system, whether it's from President Xi or from Foreign Minister Wang, they really matter in China. And they give license to all of the other parts of the system to get back into doing normal business. It's a bit different in Australia. I mean, our iron exporters, our coal exporters, they've been going full bore ahead because China needs those. But in other parts of the economy, but particularly agricultural products, we need that sort of symbolism on the Chinese side so that our exporters can get back into normal business. And that'll take a bit of time.
Why now, do you think? Why is now China saying, yes, we're happy to have these discussions?
Look, I think there are a couple of big reasons for that. First of all, I think the government of China recognises that it has overplayed its hand a bit internationally. I think that there's a movement back towards the centre and back towards stability, or stabilisation, as Penny Wong calls it, in the management across its relationship spectrum. I think the second thing is that China actually needs Australian trade. It is a growing economy, and we've got a lot of the things that China actually needs to build its economy. And the third thing, and I don't think it's the least important, Danica, is that symbolism counts in China. And here we are, almost to the day, 50 years since Australia and China signed mutual recognition under the leadership of the then Prime Minister, Gough Whitlam, and those sorts of anniversaries count in China. So when you bring those sort of three factors together, we've got all of the ingredients, I think, for moving back to much more equilibrium in our relationship with China.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here on in. Allan Behm, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Danica.